Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is May 17th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see the trough being carved out along the west coast of North America, keeping some unsettled conditions around. We'll take a look at those details. We'll take a look at what is coming this upcoming week and the extended forecast. As always, we go through the video here this morning, last 24 hours, and again, you can kind of see that trough kicking off some lightning there across portions of southern, south central, and southeastern Oregon. A few lightning strikes across some of the higher terrain of British Columbia and the Rocky Mountains there as well, and off into southwest Idaho. Nothing for Washington State, though, in the last 24 hours. That may change here. I'll show you that more here in a moment. But if you take a look at this weather station, this is, you mount this at your own home, and it can show you lightning activity up to 25 miles away. And it does all kinds of other stuff, stores a lot of data for you in the cloud. Highly recommend this station. You'll have it up and running in about 5 minutes, and it's very easy to mount as well. So looking at things where we are currently, combination of Doppler radars, looks like some moderate rain is falling at Pendleton, some light rain at Portland, and you can see maybe Seattle, some of the Puget Sound there, off and on light rain. Looks like for Bellingham this morning as well. And then you kind of see the shape of this trough here all the way dug down towards California. And if you guys want to send me some of your weather images, go ahead and do so on the Patreon page. Go to the community tab, and it's free to join up there. You can also support the channel by going to the Patreon page here as well. So looking at the Storm Prediction Center today, you can see the thunderstorm threat generally cascades to the east there, but there is a little bit of a chance there for a lightning strike west of the Cascades. But the general threat, again, cascades east. And if you go off across some of the southern plains there, you can see there is a tornado threat today, wind and hail as well. And that's going to be the case for tomorrow. Probably be out there chasing that. Going to fly into Kansas City tonight, it looks like, across the Pacific Northwest. So you can see those thunderstorms have moved down by this time towards, southern Montana there in eastern Idaho. Nothing expected for Washington or Oregon as we go through the day on tomorrow. And this is for day 3 here. You can see the Pacific Northwest free of thunderstorms as severe weather threats continue across with the central USA. Now, lightning flash density potential. So if I scroll through this today, this is this afternoon, and you can kind of see a little bit of instability. Cannot rule out a couple lightning strikes here west of the Cascades, but the bulk of this instability and this activity should be Cascades off through the west and some of the Intermountain West there as well, some of the Rocky Mountains, interior of British Columbia also. And if we take a look at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, this is the trough that's doing all this work on us right now, and it's going to remain with us as we go on in through Sunday. You can see that it's centered right across Washington. By the time we get towards tomorrow morning, it will be moving down off to the south and east as this transient ridge comes across the region. Then we quickly have another deep trough, or fairly deep trough, moving across portions of Western Canada. Going to keep that onshore flow going and keep the precipitation chances going on in through the day. Monday is another frontal system will pass through, and then we're going to go through this cat and mouse game of ridge versus trough. This system looks like it has been weakening here as we go through this upcoming week in recent model runs. So less of a punch, less precipitation with that. But as you can see, as we go on in through Thursday night into Friday, another system likely on its way there. So if we take a look at that, this is the European model run, last night's run. You can kind of see, the trough is around. A lot of places getting some precipitation as we go through the day today. You can kind of see the enhanced precipitation amounts across some of the central Puget Sound there with that convergence zone activity. And that's going to mean some snowfall for the higher terrain across Washington, the Cascades, and up into British Columbia there as well. And some of the Oregon Cascades, probably some of the higher peaks are going to get a few inches. But, it's mainly, you're looking at the snow level probably above 5,000 feet for the most part, and the Rocky Mountains get a bit of snowfall there as well. And then we scroll on through here. We get a bit of a break as we go through. It looks like on the day Sunday, it's break for some areas, but the next frontal system will be working its way in here as we go on in through the day Monday, and then as we go on into Tuesday morning, you see the onshore flow, some showers continuing. But by the time we get towards Wednesday, we're going to start to ramp those showers down a bit and see what that next system has. Looks like it's losing its punch as it moves in. A couple dry days maybe for some of the region, and then this next system out here, it's fairly weak, but it will be starting to swing through here Thursday night into Friday. And if we take a look here at composite reflectivity on the high resolution rapid refresh 12Z, you can kind of see the showers moving out and about. And again, these could have lightning strikes with them across Oregon, Idaho, Washington and British Columbia. And you can also see the convergence zone activity there ongoing, a few rounds of it across the Puget Sound here as we go on in through the evening tonight. And again, where that moves back in towards the Cascades, snow levels could briefly be down below 4,000 feet. Should Snoqualmie Pass maybe just getting a little bit of snow, better amounts for Stevens Pass, and of course some of the higher terrain between the passes out there. A lot of hiking, there's some lakes out there, and a lot of good trails. So heads up if you're off across the backcountry there, and you can kind of see the showers continue as we go through Sunday morning, off and on all the way through the day on Sunday before we start to dry out Sunday afternoon and evening before the next frontal system, as you can see off the coastline, starts to arrive as we go on in through the day Monday. So taking a look here, 80-meter wind speed, and I'll point out the wind surge coming down the Strait of Juan de Fuca. That's going on this afternoon. You can see the winds wrapping around the Olympics, and that's what causes the convergent zone activity. You see this north or this west-northwest flow, again, kind of coming towards the coastal areas there, and then it moves around the Olympic Mountains, got nowhere to go but up, and that can be enhanced by any instability around as well. And you can get a lightning strike or two out of that activity here. And this convergent zone can bounce, anywhere from Everett, a little bit further north, down towards Seattle and Tacoma and whatnot, and it depends on the prevailing wind. So yeah, that is our Puget Sound convergent zone. You can also see how the winds pick up on the east slopes of the Cascades as we go through this evening, all the way down into Oregon as well. Some blustery winds associated with that. And those continue on in through the day Sunday also. Finally start to wane by the time we get into towards Monday morning. Now, taking a look at total precipitation in inches on the European. So as we scroll through the day today, you can kind of see the hit and miss nature of some of this precipitation. But look at that right across Seattle there. It looks like up over a half an inch by the time we get towards tonight. You're looking at 6, 7, 8 tenths of an inch by the time we get towards tomorrow. Bellingham starting to get up towards an inch total precipitation from where we are right now as well. And then Monday's system will roll in here also, and it puts Seattle over an inch or right about an inch as we go through Monday afternoon. So yeah, you can see some higher amounts across the higher terrain there as well. So yeah, pretty showery pattern coming up here, and then maybe another system there as we go through the end of the week. Now, taking a look at the extended forecast a little bit here, you can kind of see how temperatures are suppressed, and all the way through midweek here, we're keeping things down, highs around 60 degrees, and then maybe we'll start to bounce back here, but of course we get the uncertainty in these forecasts here as we look further out. But you can kind of see how these diverge, and some of the ensembles say, chillier side, some say on the warmer side here. The blue line is the control rate. It actually shows us warming up as we go through the following week, but of course you want to take that with a grain of salt there as well. And you can kind of see some of these temperatures with all 50 European ensemble members. We tweak the initial conditions as we understand them for each of these 50 members, and we just let them run out, and we keep those initial conditions as they are with the control run on the bottom there, so we can kind of see what kind of uncertainty we have in the forecast as we look off into the future. So total snow in inches Kuchera ratio. So as we scroll through the day today, look at that. You can see the bullseye there across the central sound. That's right between Stevens. It shows about 4 inches and just a little bit, maybe a couple tenths of an inch of snow for Snoqualmie Pass, but higher amounts across, the higher terrain in between those passes. And so, 6, 7, 8, 9 inches there. So heads up anyway off in the backcountry here, and also watch across the Blue Mountains across the higher terrain, the Rocky Mountains. It's a bit brisk, a bit chilly out there, and there is some snow flying again across the higher elevations. Now, looking at the artificial intelligence model, this looks a little bit off into the future as well. There goes our system this weekend. Transient ridge as we go through Sunday night, but that next system is quickly upon us as we go through Monday. We're now off in towards Tuesday. We'd still have that onshore flow ongoing, and then this very weak system out here has been kind of downtrending a little bit, but that would definitely keep the onshore flow going, and would keep temperature suppressed here across the region. You kind of see that trough hang out. Another transient ridge. How long would that hold on? Because the European artificial intelligence continues to want to show troughing here along the west coast of North America as we go through the end of May, but it's been varying in the degree of that troughing. So we'll watch that here over the next few days and kind of see that trough carved out across the southwest USA, and a ridge. Actually, let me go back there really quick. That was kind of interesting looking. You can kind of see that ridge extended on the north side of that closed low there as we go towards the end of the month. So there's a chance we could start to get some more warmer conditions here as we go towards the end of May. This is the European ensemble, and this is actually probably the most accurate way to look at what is coming in the extended forecast if you want to know. So we're scrolling out on in towards next week, and you can see we still got that Gulf of Alaska trough fairly deep, and it kind of shows that troughing here along the west coast of North America. These ensemble signals can be quite subtle. So you got to look at that, and you can kind of see there is troughing here along the west coast of North America. You notice it's not a ridge, and so yeah, we'll just kind of watch that and see where we're going to go. But we'll check back on the ensemble members here as we go day by day. Now, looking at 15-day precipitation anomaly, kind of backed off on the amounts of precipitation we can expect as we go through the end of May, but there's still some areas above normal, but there's also areas below normal across portions of Oregon, east of the Cascades as well, Idaho, Montana, and some of the Rocky Mountains. So taking a look at total precipitation in inches, and again, we do have a few systems to go before we get to the end of May. It shows Seattle up over 1.2 inches of precipitation. You go towards next Monday, so 1.4. You're looking at better amounts across western BC, Vancouver Island, some of the higher terrain as well. And Portland looks like over an inch of rainfall there also. You can see the rain shadowing across the Columbia River Basin. You can also see some of the higher amounts across the interior of BC into northeast Washington, some of the Rocky Mountains in Idaho there, and off towards Wyoming. Now, if we scroll off towards the end of the month, again, you can kind of see maybe we'll start to dry out. Who knows what's going to happen there. But it has been trending down a little bit here for some areas on the amount of precipitation we get as we go towards June. Now, we would desperately need it here because since April 1st, let me update that. Let's see if we got an update here on that. Looks like it still just goes through the 15th. But yeah, we've been below normal. In some areas substantially below normal as far as precipitation is concerned since April 1st. So not a great look there. Hopefully we can make the most out of this somewhat wet period here as we go on into the second half of May. There's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook there. You can kind of see a little bit of a below there across portions of Washington, Northwest Oregon. Big above normal signal here across the Southwest USA extends a bit northward here as well as we go through May 26th. And kind of this mixed bag across the Pacific Northwest as we go through the May 26th period. So anyway, yep, I'm probably heading out chasing tonight. I'll probably be gone for a few days, but I will try to bring my show on the road and continue to do daily updates in the morning hours. And yeah, what else? Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.